If you're looking to know if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the most recent stats about Auburn and Opelika. So let's get into it right now. Auburn, Alabama area. I want you to make sure to go ahead. Hey everyone, Alex Acuff here with eXp Realty in the Acuff Weekly group. If this is your first time to our channel, we want you to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way we can start earning your trust today, because we're having people reach out to us just like you every single day that are looking to make the move to the Auburn Opelika area, and we want to be the chosen team. So if that's you and you're looking to make the move or just have a few questions, feel free to reach out to me and my team. We would love to set up a 15-minute Zoom call with you, get to know you, get to know exactly what you want here in town, and we will get to work and be the boots on the ground. Now, with that said, if you have a home that you have to sell, whether that's in Auburn, Opelika, or any of the surrounding areas or across the United States, I want you to go ahead and scan the QR code right here on the screen, and that's going to get you a home value in seconds. That way we can start figuring out exactly your game plan, which starts with knowing what your equity is, what you plan to use moving forward, and that's going to help kick off this journey for your move to Auburn, Opelika. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about all the stats that you need to know as a consumer about the Auburn, Opelika market. So let's get into it right now. Statistics, as you can see up top, listed October of 2023 and 2024. This is really just kind of a review to give you guys an idea of what the bigger picture is here in Auburn when you're looking to make the move, because you may be moving from across the country going, man, I just don't know if I want to live in the South. I don't want to know if I want to live in Alabama. And we'll talk a lot about why Auburn is just so darn desirable as I kind of go through these stats, and we can just kind of pick them apart. As you can see, we're going to start with all areas. I'm going to briefly hit on this, and then I want to dive into Auburn. I think it's a little bit more of tells us really forecasting where the market is going. I would safely say we want to look at the Auburn numbers. So as you can see, total houses on the market, 614. That's a 15% increase year over year. It's showing more inventory for the buyers, which is great because last year was tough. You know, having more homes on the market going into 2025. I've heard really good statistics saying that we're probably expecting about a 10% increase in sales. So I do expect this trend to continue to rise on the inventory. Property sold 180. That's actually down 10%. Basically plateau property sold. And let me tell you why. It's because when you see 95 new, that means there's been about 20 more new constructions that sold in October of 2024 versus 23. So 85 existing, that's residential resale, versus 84 existing last year. That's basically a plateau. Average days on market. Now, this is an interesting stat. When we look at the average days on market, you're seeing 51 and 58. Well, the reality is look at the existing. 28 days on market for existing last year versus 54 existing this year. And I can absolutely tell you that number is 100% spot on, is that we have seen pretty much about a double in days on market, if not even more. So it is moving right along. Median sold price, as you can see, it's gone from 364 to 362. That's basically a plateau. Now, when we look at all areas, that is talking about Auburn, Opelika, and Lee County, all the data that is pulled within our MLS. Now, it's not everything. That's why I like to say, let's look at Auburn and get into it, and then we'll kind of go from there. 300 homes last year, 354 on the market this year. That's up. That's definitely up. That's up at least 12%. So we are seeing a lot more inventory. So if you're a buyer, we are definitely seeing more negotiations when it comes to closing costs, repairs, rate buy down, because the rates have definitely stayed high. Property sold 98 versus 79 last year. As you can see, we have definitely gone up in property sales. Let's go back to these properties sold. We had 47 existing and 45 existing this year. So we actually had less home sales that were existing this year than we did the 47 of last year. But the new construction has jumped tremendously from 32 to 53. That's about almost a 50% increase. So just excuse my math. We're kind of flying by the seat here looking at stats because I want to save you guys some time and get right into this. Average days on market. Now, this is probably one of the biggest kickers. If you're a home seller in Auburn, look at this. So last year you see 56, this year 64. More importantly, look at the existing 34 days on market of October of 2023 versus the 74 for existing this year. I mean, look at that number. That is over double. So average days on market is way, way, way up. Median sales price or new listings about plateau. That's nothing really to talk about. Median sold price, we're at 396 versus 419 last year. We've definitely seen that median come down. I would say sellers are just going to have to be a little bit more negotiable. A lot of that could be because we've seen the interest rate rise, and as the inventory builds, a lot of people are having their days on market continue to go. And of course, if you want to capture the most equity in a home, you want to price it right at the beginning. That way you don't have to suffer, call it 74 days later, because that's going to suck a lot of the momentum you had, negotiation power out, because people are going to say, hey, your home's been on the market forever. You obviously need to sell. So I'm going to ask you for this, and this, these concessions. Average sold price, I really wouldn't go with that too much. I would rather you look at the median price, because I think that the median price tells a better story of our market. I mean, it's a 20 grand difference. So our market has technically gone down $20,000 year over year, October to October. And I will say with the election, I'm very curious to see the actual November numbers, because the November numbers, when we cover that in December, are going to tell me, they're going to paint a whole picture, because those are the stats that I'm waiting on, because I have a feeling when those come out, it's going to tell us tremendously the momentum from the elections going into 2025. Volume, not too worried about volume, because it really doesn't matter really to you as the consumer. Opelika. I love Opelika. Here's the fun thing about Opelika. It gets overshadowed so hard by Auburn because of Auburn University and everything Auburn, right? Everyone wants to talk about Auburn, Auburn, Auburn. Well, one of the greatest gems in the area is Opelika. If you want to know my favorite place to go hang out downtown, it's Opelika. It's not Auburn. And the reason why is because it's a slower and older demographic, you would say. And for someone that is, mid late 30s, I think it has better amenities for me and the things that I like to do. They have things as like breweries, they have other cool shops, hardware shops, clothing shops, boutiques, coffee shops. Sidetrack is one of the best coffee shops in the area. So if you're looking for one of the best coffee shops in the area, I just want to give a shout out to Sidetrack, because man, they crush it over there. And if you want some amazing coffee beans, they have them for sale there as well. Yeah, I'm not going to go on a tangent on that. We're talking stats. Sorry, guys. So Opelika, 184 houses on the market versus 226. The inventory has actually gone down in Opelika. The 22 existing days on market this year versus 19 last year, it's about a plateau. So this is kind of cool. This is an interesting comparison. So look at how many more homes are on the market this year in Auburn versus Opelika, but yet you've seen over double days on market, and existing inventory has plateaued here. There's been about the same, literally about the same. So Opelika has just really, let's call it this. Opelika has been more stable economically than Auburn has when you look at the real estate market. And this was not prepared, this conversation around the market stats, but as I'm reading this, that is what it's telling me. It's telling me that Opelika is more stable than Auburn. So let's get into these numbers. Oh, look at this. Average days on market. Look, it's about doubled. It's the same. Inventory's actually gone down, which is interesting. Usually we see a lot of people come into the market that are the late adopters whenever trends hit. So like when prices were skyrocketing, people that didn't have to sell during COVID, now they're like, oh, I want to take advantage. They're really late to the party. But Opelika is seeing a lot less late to the parties than Auburn is. And that could be because of condos. Now, we got to consider this is residential and condos. So Auburn has a lot more going on. That's why the pricing is what it is. But I will say for residential resale, single family housing, Opelika is looking pretty good on these numbers. Let's see, median sold price, 293 versus 311. That's a solid bump in appreciation for Opelika on a bad year. I mean, that's incredible, right? You look at Auburn, it's actually gone down. Average sold price, I hate looking at those. I just think the median, because I want to throw out the bottom and I want to throw out the top, and I want to see what the numbers are telling me in the middle for the middle American moving to the Auburn Opelika area. So I like the median pricing. Let's see. Let's go into condos real quick. Condos. We've got 36 condos on the market this year versus the 18 last year. I know these numbers are going to be absolutely insane. I have been waiting to cover these because the condo market has gone absolutely bonkers in 2024. It's like 2021 residential resale activity now has happened in condos in 2024. So I'm wondering, have we hit the top? Have we hit the top in condos? But we'll see. 16 properties sold versus 15. That's basically a plateau. This is crazy. Look at this. $310,000 median sold price versus $230,000 last year. I mean, look at that jump. That's like a 30% jump in pricing. No, about a 50% jump in pricing, shall I say. So what does that tell us? And I'll tell you a little bit of a story. So in Edge West, if you're familiar with my last video, I talked about Edge West. I like to use this as an example because most people know it. It's where a lot of freshmen live. It's right beside the fraternity houses. We were selling condos in January and February of 2024 this year for $420 to $427, $430,000. And then during the summer, we saw one listed, went crazy as another 4-bedroom at like 580 or 600,000. Anyways, this property ended up closing out at 580,000. And now we've got a new benchmark in there. I mean, think about that, 420 to 580. And then we have just watched this real estate market go crazy. People are going nuts. And it's not just there, it's everywhere. It's even like Park Place off of Ross. It's Deer. You guys will see a Deerfield one come in this market from my company. And we have raised the price like $30,000 because all the comparables tell us that we can continue to climb. And it's everywhere. It's not just one complex. It's all of them have taken massive jumps. I mean, you look at Glen Heights. I sold one in there for $440,000. And the last one to sell, I think, was $530,000. And those are 2-bedroom units off of Glen, which is wild. Sorry, tangents. Median sales price. Just know that when we start looking at condos, you're going to have to probably raise your purchase price. Opelika condos are pretty much non-existent. Not talking about lots. So that is going to be it for the market stats. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining us on this video today. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know all the stats and everything that you need to know about the Auburn Opelika housing market. Now, like I said earlier, if you're looking to make the move, we want you to reach out to us. We want to schedule a Zoom call. That way we can get to know you and your situation and help you make that transition as smooth as possible and be the boots on the ground. Make sure as well to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. That way you don't miss another video about everything Auburn Opelika, and we will look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.